My name is Aaron Leong, and I am a freelance filmmaker, really. I do a lot of DP work, cinematography for shorts, documentaries, web series, pretty much anything. Yeah. And I've done some directing as well. So,
Two feature films?
2 features. Yep. We're in post for the second one. Which is going really well. He's on the 4th reel. We've kind of split the project up into quarters, and every reel is about 25 scenes or so. So, but it's coming together really, really nicely, surprisingly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, is there a screening coming up? I saw something. It seems so quick.
I don't think there's a screening scheduled yet. I believe we're probably going to be finished sometime late this year, if everything goes to plan. But there's a lot of CG involved too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the CG?
Well, it's based on a one-armed MMA fighter, and Cody Christian, our lead actor, has 2 arms.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So you got green screen
Got a
on
problem.
one arm. Yeah.
He didn't take.
Yeah, he didn't take for the team. No, he didn't. But we were talking to our CG guy, and he worked on. Oh my gosh, what was that one where the surfer girl got her arm bitten off? Anyway, yeah, he worked on that one, and he was saying that the green screen arm or sleeve kind of got in the way sometimes.
Did it?
It did, and and so we used it as well to kind of keep ourselves in check, like when we were filming. We needed the arm to be on certain sides of his body, in certain camera angles, so it kind of kept us aware, kept him aware, that kind of thing. But
that he shouldn't be picking up a cup of coffee with.
yeah, exactly.
Suddenly it turns into a ghost movie.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, but we gave him a couple of test scenes to work with, and we haven't seen the results yet, but he seems pretty confident, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah.
So let's talk about financing and distribution,
Sure.
and I guess we could probably use those 2 movies. You don't have to go into too specific if you don't want to, but
Sure.
Tell us about maybe how those 2 are different, or the similarities and differences between the 2.
The similarity is the budgets were identical. They were exactly the SAG modified low budget $700,000 tier.
So what does that mean?
Anything? So SAG modified low is you're paying your talent like $375 or $380 a day, and that's the SAG rate, and then whatever you negotiate on top of that, for their rate, and then you don't have to pay your extras. So extras are 18 and over, volunteer basis only. With the next tier, which is just low budget, I think that goes to like $5 million or something like that. You have to pay your extras $150 a day, and you have to allot so many slots for SAG extras, and you're paying your talent almost double for the day rate. So it's a big jump.
Yeah.
In cost. So we try to keep it as low as possible. Yeah. And if you think about it, it's a pretty good number. 700,000 as far as like if you're trying to make your money back, you have a better chance of making that back versus say $1 million or $2 million, right? Because if your budget's $1 million, you really just spent that money on your talent and your extras when you use them. So if you're gonna do the low budget, go for the higher end low budget. That's my thoughts.
Gotcha.
Is there a difference in the strategy of fundraising between the 2?
I wasn't involved in the fundraising for either film. I know we had some angel investors that invested the money in, to the producers, and the producers got the the crew together.
An angel investor.
Basically somebody that just, you know, gives you a bunch of money.
Oh, okay. They're just ready
Yeah.
to throw it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody that wants to see a project do good.
Yeah, yeah. They want to, they'd like to see a return. I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a gamble. You never
Yeah.
know if it's
Right.
going to make money or not.
Definitely.
But
Did they have with the money? Did they have the strings come attached? Did they have a hand in, or did that not really manifest? Or
I don't know. What do you mean?
did they have really creative say?
No.
No?
The investors, no.
Just purely.
Just the producers did. Yeah. I mean, it's their project after all.
Right.
They're two different genres. So is there
Mhm.
a difference in the distribution strategy? Or what are the distribution strategies like between the two different?
Yeah.
genres?
So Mamaboy, Rick, really long time ago when he first he was living in LA and got some advice and said, if you really want to make money, make a movie for this demographic. And he's talking about middle school, high school age kids. And before any of us were involved, he got Jonathan Morgan, who was our basically our publicist. He was the director of marketing and publicity. And what their strategy was to cast some high profile Instagram or YouTube star that has an audience already, right? And so they've been searching and no hits, and literally, I mean, this is after he was given all the money from his investor, and couldn't find an actor for the role, and so he literally gave the money back. I mean, he had all the money for his project. I mean, can you imagine?
The producer.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that story with the
That's-
script.
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That'd
So
be crazy.
yeah, so he basically gave all the money back, and the investor said, "Hey, look, when you're ready and you find your actor, it'll be ready."
Was it
It'll
that
be
you couldn't find somebody worthy of talent
Yeah, I mean,
acting, or just
exactly.
nobody available, or
it was that plus, he had approached a couple really high profile YouTube stars and, was politely turned down. I think, one of them was like huge. I mean, he was like one of the biggest, had the biggest following on YouTube.
Yeah.
But he was in school and he wanted to finish up school, which is commendable. So,
Yeah.
I think somebody recommended they just put the script up on, I forgot the website, but Jason McRae saw it and suggested his client read the script, and his client was extremely excited about it, and it was Sean O'Donnell, and he's very, very popular on Instagram and was starting to get into the acting world and stuff, but he'd done some modeling and print work, and and he'd taken some acting classes, and he read for the part. And again, this is before I was involved. But everybody that he showed the audition to, they were like, this is the character, this is your kid. So so we cast him, and a couple of others right afterwards. Dylan Riley Snyder and Mikey Reed, Nickelodeon and Disney, they jumped on board, and Allie DeBerry as well. She's from Disney, and so
Was that once his name was attached to it, or was that just coincidence?
it was kind of all around the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
did that help having him as an attachment? Like once you locked him in, or
I think all of these guys were kind of approached around the same time, and all of them expressed interest.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think it was once one person signs on, then all of a sudden everybody jumps on board, right? I
Right.
mean,
did that help with other areas?
I think it did. The casting director in LA is neighbors with Stephen Tobolowsky, and
Oh.
and said, Stephen Tobolowsky be interested, so if you don't find anybody, let him know, and he'll come out and do it for you. So
Okay.
he came out, yeah. But yeah, that was kind of the strategy behind Mamaboy's cast these high profile actors or personalities on Instagram and YouTube, and hope their audience comes in as fans the movie.
So movies in distribution now.
The movie's in distribution now.
So
So
are you
it's
seeing a return on that idea?
I'm not directly a part of that, but
Are you seeing the effect of that?
well,
The
so
social media.
So the biggest problem we have is when it came out, it was on Hulu, it was on, it wasn't on Netflix. We did iTunes, I think was the first,
Yeah.
and then we did like DVD sales and Hulu. And literally when it came out, I mean, it spread across the internet. I mean, it was just all over the freaking place.
Yeah.
Like these obscure websites, and you know, it just showed up everywhere. I mean, it's on the governor of Louisiana's website, personal website, apparently. That's what Rick said.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, part of that was after this had all happened, he was told like, yeah, you should get a hacker, you know, and just hire a hacker to knock these sites down. And but yeah, that's the biggest problem that we have, because some of these sites have like, you know, 60,000 views on it, and
60,000 purchases.
so you
Exactly.
mean it's pirated?
It's
Yeah,
pirated.
that's what, I thought you meant like it was being public. Okay,
Oh, no.
Okay,
no,
wow.
no. It's been pirated, and it's
Gotcha.
like,
Okay.
I mean, it's free like all over the place.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
but I mean, we did, you know, we did see a lot of people have purchased it from like iTunes and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's enough to like get that money back.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, they're still holding out for some other options, but you know, I think I think they do plan to try and go Netflix at some point, but I'm not sure when. Yeah.
But the social media though, did you guys exploit them? Their
Oh,
their
yeah.
followers
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh yeah, like we would have them, you know, tweet or
Yeah.
you know, do some kind of Instagram thing.
Contractually.
And, yeah, it was part. I think it was part of Sean's, Dylan's, Mikey's, and Allie's. I think I'm not sure, but Sean's for sure. I know they have, you know,
like one a day or one a week or something like that.
I think it's just less than. I think it's less than that. I think it's just you know, when it comes out, tweet about it.
Yeah.
You know, and every so often, like when we email you or something, I don't know. But he does, and you know, we do get a spike in views and stuff like that. I know when the trailer came out, I think we hit 1 million in like a month and a half or something like that. But so we would see like 8,000 a day views a day or so on YouTube. And when Sean tweets about it, oh, check out the movie I'm in, check out the trailer for the movie I'm in, blah blah blah, I mean, it'll spike 50,000 views in that day. So the part of YouTube that trailer is a part of, it's a lot of independent films, and all the trailers are getting, you know, 3,000 views total. So for this one to get that many views is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I one of my a podcast, some channel that I watch, I remember them mentioning the trailer because I think like at first it was they got like this body horror kind of thing for men. I thought it was really interesting, so they were talking about it in that way.
Yeah.
And I guess that, you know, that spread around too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when I finally did see the movie, I didn't know how much the intro was shot in Placerville, my hometown.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so
I mean, most of it was shot in Placerville.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I
that area.
forgot the day that I was at, but it was the day of the graduation.
Oh,
I forgot
right.
where the school, but I was there for that day. But yeah, it was nice seeing the whole main street.
Very
at
cool.
The beginning.
Yeah. We did a pickup day for that, so it was like way after production had ended.
That was just with the scientist actor, right?
Right. And that little mouse. So we were
mouse thing, yeah.
like chasing the mouse all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it went pretty much according to plan.
Yeah.
You know, which is surprising for productions. So
I've heard the number one thing you can do to guarantee success, if you can get anything can guarantee success, is have named actors.
yeah, yeah. Every production that I've been on, I mean, it's, you know, they always try to get at least 2 or 3 names on it. Mamaboy went the young route with the kids, and then more contemporary route like Gary Busey and Stephen Tobolowsky. So, you know, they try to get a couple names in there to, you know, get the bigger platforms to kind of want the movie or want to sell the movie.
When you talk to people about the movie in the industry, what does that help to open doors?
I think what helps most is that that I had the experience to direct it. I think that's what what helps the most, because I mean, you know, when you direct a student film, I mean, it's one thing. It's like you have your hands in every basket, but on a bigger production, you really don't have the time. I mean, there's just no time to kind of have control over everything, right? Especially when given a certain 3-month timeline, right? There's just no way. So I think for me, if you know, when Howard approached me to do Notorious Nick, my name came up from a couple people, and it was because I directed Mamaboy. So I think that was the biggest help for me, was that I had experience directing a feature already.
Yeah.
And so when I met with Howard, I kind of showed him some scenes from the movie that had some pretty good scenes, and he gave me a shot for Notorious Nick. And Notorious Nick is a completely different beast altogether. I mean, it's a drama, number one. It's not a comedy. And there's CG involved. There's you know, stunts, fight choreography, like just a whole nother animal. So, but the distribution for that, I don't know what the distribution for that is.
You don't know what the distribution model is?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think that Howard is doing more of a contemporary, or more of a traditional model. You know, just get some named actors in there, sell it through traditional ways. You know, get it into theaters, that kind of thing. Where Mamaboy is, you know, I think they were talking about doing a theatrical run, but a very limited, like 3 or 4 city theatrical run, and then doing like a tug release where you know, people could petition your movie to come over. So
Tug is interesting.
Yeah.
Explain Tug.
So Tug is like, let's say I want Mamaboy to come to my hometown and show at a theater. So I would enter the Tug program and do pre-sales on tickets. And if I sell so many tickets, I can have the right to show the movie at a theater in town, right? And then so a portion of those proceeds would go back to the production company, and then the other would just go back to that person, you know, or whoever. I don't know how. I don't know the other side of that. Maybe some of it goes to theater. I don't know, but it's just a way to petition the film to come and show at your city if it's not already.
What would the strategy be for a limited run in 3-4 cities?
Well, that was to...
Is that more marketing? Is that more
it was
recoupment?
it was just to try and get some... try to get the word out that the movie exists, you know, so that hopefully when it goes online, people just purchase it online for cheaper, and then, you know, hopefully recoup most of it that way. So I think that was the biggest strategy. But the problem was, you know, the online thing is just, like, again, everybody just pirates the movie, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
I was going to ask, you said that there was suggested hire like a hacker to take the movie down. Is there any other strategies that you guys have to help prevent the movie from being pirated, or is it just kind of inevitable?
No. Once it's online, and it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally, when I was posting some scenes for the movie, you know, for Howard to see. This was before the movie was released, and was it? This was after. I think this was after, but I can't remember why I had to post those scenes. Anyway, I did it through Vimeo, and before everything was uploaded, I had done all the settings and made them all private or whatever. Apparently, a couple scenes didn't catch, and they were public. And there was a website about, you know, just a male pregnancy website. And these guys have been following us since our first production meeting. I mean, it was like bizarre.
Yeah.
Like it was a production meeting between our crew. So nobody really knew about it outside of our crew, but they knew that production meeting happened. So anyway, they knew it that night, and so they had been following the progression of the film. And I mean, literally a half an hour after it posted, those scenes popped up on their website, in one of their threads.
Wow. So somebody like downloaded it, reposted it.
Yeah. And so I immediately privated them. And it wasn't like, it didn't spoil anything for the movie. It was just a couple scenes. I can't remember why. Somebody was asking for it, I think. And so I went onto their website and I said, "Hey, sorry guys, I pulled the videos down because blah blah blah." So they were totally cool about it, but they've been supporting the film since like the very get-go. I mean, they were like super excited about it. They posted how much they loved the film after they saw it. I mean, it was pretty funny.
Fitting.
Yeah.
People are weird.
Hey, there's a niche for everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I think the model for Notorious Nick is I think Howard is doing more of a traditional distribution model for that. So.
What about name talent? Did you?
But that's I'm curious.
Yeah, Cody Christian played Nick, and he was on Pretty Little Liars and Teen Wolf, the two TV series, and so he has a pretty big following.
Yeah, I think it is.
And even we were at the school that we were filming at, and he was just outside, during one of our breaks that happened to be one of the school's breaks as well, and you just start hearing screaming in the background.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? So you walk over and he's just standing there, and people. A small mob has formed around him, but he's one of those actors that is totally gracious to his fans, and he said, hey, just give me a second, let me go take some pictures, sign some autographs, and everything will kind of blow over.
Nice.
Totally did. 10-15 minutes later, he was taking pictures with everybody, signing autographs or whatever, and just kind of the crowd just kind of just. So get your deal memo signed. Again, a line producer, they will be the one that emails you your deal memo. Look it over, read it over carefully, get it signed, and those are your hiring papers, really. You can negotiate whether or not you want to do any points on the back end, which is fine, but sometimes they never come to fruition. So,
especially if you're a low man on the totem pole, you'll never see.
Oh yeah. But typically, if you're getting points, a lot of times it's after the investment gets paid back,
right.
And then whatever. Once the production goes into the black, then you start getting paid.
Into the black, so that means
meaning they start making money.
Okay.
Right. So, so this is after the investment's getting paid back, and then all of I guess a lot of times the investor will say, okay, well, I want to make a percentage on top of that. So if I put, let's just say, $1 million in, I'll make a percentage on top of that. Once that's all paid back, then unless they get points as well. And then now you're starting to divvy up all the profits.
Yeah. So. Could you explain for us and everybody watching what points on the back end is? We had Jay explain it to us our first class, but...
Yeah, it's basically a percentage of the profits. So let's just say your production, after the investor has been paid back his initial investment, the producer will start, once they start making money, you'll make so much on every dollar. So whatever percentage however many points you get is what you get paid of the profits. But a lot of times it's very easy to cook books. You're paying back things all the time. It could be, I don't know, just expendables list or some insurance claim or something. It could always be something. So it's not always recommended, but you know, I took a couple points on Mamaboy. I have a couple points on
Notorious Nick.
Notorious Nick. So,
Are you seeing any returns on that, or
oh no,
not for a while?
not for a long time. I'm very doubtful that that it's going to make its money because, like I said, you know, once it's pirated, you can watch the movie anywhere for free anytime. So, it's going to be very difficult to have people go to iTunes, make a purchase to watch it.
Yeah.
Now I'm assuming it'd probably just be more hassle than it's worth. But is there any like legal action you could take against the sites that have?
Oh yeah,
pirated?
I mean, when Rick found out about this, I mean, he was on a daily basis writing these websites and saying you need to take it down, you know, whatever, and so they'll take it down, but then it'll pop right back up the next day. So it sucks.
So what can a hacker do?
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know.
I have one of my brothers he's a white hacker, which means that he can do everything that like somebody on the blacklist can do, but he doesn't because he's not a jerk about it. And yeah, I've seen that man work miracles on a computer. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And the knowledge that he has is ridiculous.
yeah,
That would be an interesting discussion.
that would be.
So, did you? So you had?
Yeah, so Rick was very he wanted the film to be Sacramento based almost entirely. You know, if not for the LA actors, it would have been. I think the only crew person that we got out of Sacramento was David Brewer, our DP. And initially we got Brian Ham, but who's local.
For the department heads?
Yeah, and so, but he had to back out for personal reasons, and you know, we started searching as far as we could to get a DP, and David Brewer was recommended to me, which was great. I mean, Dave was great, but you know, everybody else was from here in Sac, and so that was one of Rick's biggest things was, you know, he wants this production to be Sacramento based, and for the most part it was. So he did a premiere up here. I mean, a lot of support came from Sac. We did have some people come and check out the movie. We had a lot of publishers come out and review the movie, and you know, they did a whole red carpet thing and everything else. So
Yeah, it was nice.
pretty cool.
What other public events have you been involved with for either of the films? Stuff at the beginning, stuff at the end.
Yeah, not much at the beginning. I mean, most of it was after. You know, as far as like publicity for the movies. During the production of Mamaboy, though, Dylan Riley Snyder took it upon himself to kind of coordinate a visit with Shriners Hospital. And yes, it was really cool. And so once the actors kind of got word of that, everybody signed on. I mean, everybody wanted to go. And so we did a day at Shriners, and you know, just signed on. Mamaboy, we shot 100 scenes in 21 days. And I mean, if you think about it, that's on average 6 scenes a day. So we were moving pretty quick.
Did you ever get ahead of yourself?
Not on Mamaboy, no. On Notorious Nick, we did. We had 24 days to shoot 100 scenes, and you know, that crew was fast. I mean, we were literally wrapped the day before.
Yeah.
And so one of the actors had to drive back to LA that night, you know, so that he could catch a flight to Boston, and so we were doing everything we can to kind of push some of the scenes earlier or whatever. So as soon as we finished a day and we felt like we could, you know, film more, even if an actor was not needed that day, they would be called in, you know, just to fill those gaps. But we ended the final day at a lot of independent films right now. I mean, because the internet is so vast, a lot of films are going straight to internet first and getting a run there before. And then getting a festival run in before even getting finance for some bigger distribution. There's a lot of independent films that would go online, do decently well, or do a theater or a festival, and then do decently well there, and then get picked up for a theatrical run. So, I mean, right now it's kind of like a hodgepodge of different models. I think for Mamaboy is they try to do kind of like a combo distribution route, but where they did some traditional and some new way of distribution, but everything is just however you can get it out there, really. That's how I feel, because if you don't do it anyway, it's nobody's going to know about your film, and then you're stuck. So I think if independent films, I mean, you're talking 50,000 plus indie movies made per year, I think is the statistic. So get it out there, man. I feel like just get it out there, get it shown, and if it's worthy, it'll get picked up somewhere. But I don't see a trend going one way or the other. Yeah.
It's just kind of, as you see it, kind of stuck in between things right now. Like the old.
Yeah, I mean, studios obviously they go straight to the theater.
Yeah.
And they'll distribute the more traditional way, but I mean they've got money backing it, so that's not a problem. For the little guys, it's kind of like, well, what can we do? So they're coming up with all kinds of ways, like Tug.
Right. It's like a YouTube company called Rooster Teeth.
Yes.
They came out with their first feature film, and that's why I know about Tug. And I went to Tug, and they had like 100 theaters or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think that's the newest way I heard of, but festivals. I think if your film's good, festivals will pick it up, and you'll be invited to more and more, and then at some point, you'll find some distribution for it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.